Good morning, Joe in Thailand here. As you can see, it's another very sunny day here in Sisaket province. I'm just down at the coffee shop this morning and I'm trying to stay out of the way as my brother-in-law's construction business, Radika, is always very busy first thing in the morning. Customers come in early before it gets too hot and loads of deliveries going out as well, so it's best that I stay out of the way. I was going to go out for a run this morning as the temperature has dropped a little bit since last week. However, yesterday's run opened the cut up on the bottom of my foot. So we've sacked that idea off and I'm just going to make myself a coffee this morning. You'll notice that I've got the audio set up today with the new microphone that I purchased a couple of days ago. It does feel a little bit unnatural to walk around with a hairy microphone attached to your nipple. And I did have some problems getting it on. If you've got a hairy chest, be careful using the magnetic clip when you attach it to your t-shirt, because it will pull on the hairs, and the magnet is very, very strong, much stronger than I imagined. So I had some troubles pulling that apart. But I did notice a big difference in the audio just recording a few clips compared to the last vlog I did for YouTube. So it's worth looking like a dick to have better quality videos. Anyway, today I want to discuss a question that I get a lot from you guys, which is, do you see yourself living in Thailand long term? Do you ever see yourself leaving to go back to the UK or elsewhere? And it's funny that people ask this because it's something that me and my wife discuss regularly. Even last night we were talking about this between ourselves as what's the best plan for us going into the future. Of course, right now we live in Sisaket. My wife has a physical business located here. We have a business or a limited company set up in Thailand, but that is pretty much all online. So we have the flexibility with that one. But what are the plans long term? We have spoken about moving, but we're not sure what the best plan is going into the future. So I'm going to discuss some things which we're thinking about, and hopefully it'll just give you a little bit of insight into some of the things which you need to think about when you're moving to Thailand. What's best for you, your kids, your business, your income, all of those good things. So I'm going to make some coffee and then we can discuss it in more detail. Okay, I've got my morning coffee. My brain is working a little bit clearer now. So let's discuss. Some of you are probably thinking, you live in Thailand, you have a business, life set up. Why would you even think about leaving paradise? I want to come and live there. I'll do anything to come and live there. And I get it. Like, when you look at Thailand from the outside, it does look fantastic. And it is fantastic, don't get me wrong. I love living here. There's loads of things that I love about living here. When you've lived here for a while, it just becomes normal, right? So that honeymoon period, that initial buzz kind of leaves. And then you've got to really establish your life and build something for yourself, unless you're retired, in which case you've got your money, you can just relax and enjoy it. But if you're moving here to actually build a life, build a business, work, then you get into the normal routine, similar to what you had back home. And that initial buzz that you had when you moved here kind of goes away a little bit. But let's talk about some of the things that I love about living here. So obviously the culture, the people have spoken about this a lot. I'm not going to go into too much detail on this because it's been covered so many times. I'm just going to repeat what others have said. There's the money aspect. So I try not to talk about this too much. In the past, my mind was, oh, it's so cheap here, it's so cheap here. And I never really made too many videos on it because I find it a little bit disrespectful. Like, a lot of people come here, they shove the camera in people's face and they say, oh, your country's so cheap, this food is so cheap, this is so cheap. And I don't know, I just feel it just doesn't sit with me right. Like, how would I feel if someone was coming to my country and just constantly saying, oh, it's so cheap, when they're working really hard to sustain their life and build a living for themselves? I don't know, just doesn't sit with me right. So the money thing, all I'm going to say is, if you can earn similar money to back home, or you come here with a pension and you have a similar amount to what you were living on in the UK or anywhere else in the West, you can have a very comfortable life, good standard of living. There are a couple of caveats to the cost of living thing and it being cheaper. If you're in central Bangkok and you're renting a house or a condo, it could well be more than what you spend back home. Some areas are much more expensive than the rest of Thailand, as you would expect in the capital city. And then there's the healthcare side. If you don't have the right insurance, the cost of healthcare here can be very expensive very quickly. So if you are coming here, that is one thing that you definitely need to make sure that you've got. And that's all I'm going to talk about in terms of money. Obviously, there's the weather. The weather's fantastic most of the year round. March, April are torturous because it's so hot. But then again, if you compare to back home, winters in the UK for me is so depressing, dark all the time, cold, miserable. So I don't know, it's balance, right? Everywhere's got balance. So weather's great. You can do much more things outdoors. You're not stuck inside so much. So one of the other things that I love about living here is the networking opportunities amongst foreigners, but also with Thai people as well. So for me, most of those networking opportunities come through social media, which is great. But even if you don't do social media, there are a lot of opportunities there. You need to make sure that you've got a work permit to work legally. Otherwise, you're going to get in trouble, right? Your best option for finding work in Thailand is to be here in person. So come here 2, 3, 4 weeks if you can. Network, network, network. I've said this before on my other videos. That is your best way of finding an opportunity to find work or open business or anything like this. So yeah, just be here in person and that's your best opportunity. Okay, the camera's about to die, so I'm gonna head back and get the other battery, get a bite to eat, and we'll continue this in a little while. So one of the other things I forgot to mention earlier was the fact that in Thailand, it feels like you work to live rather than live to work, which is a big, big difference. I have much more time to enjoy my life here than back home. Back home in the UK, it was, I would say 9 to 5, but it was more like 7 till 7, Monday to Friday. Saturday and Sunday, you're so exhausted. So the other aspect to the video is, if we're gonna leave, where are we gonna leave to? Are we gonna leave Isaan and go to somewhere else in Thailand? Or are we gonna leave Thailand completely? So let's go on a little drive down to the field. I want to see what they were working on yesterday as some of the builders were down there. And then we can discuss, if we're going to leave, what are we going to do? Where are we going to go? Are we going to go to the UK? Are we going to move somewhere else in Thailand? Or something completely different? Wait for this truck to go past. One of the challenges with filming in Thailand right now, it's so hot all of the time. The camera just overheats and the battery just gets drained so quickly. So as you can see, in countryside Thailand, as you would imagine, there is not an awful lot to do. And that is one of the factors which we discuss a lot, me and Mina, as we're still quite young. I'm 30, she's 28. Do we want to live somewhere which is a little bit more lively and where there's more opportunities, our friends are there, better social life? And this is one of the factors which we often talk about why we might leave Isaan to move to another area of Thailand. If you're ever going to leave your bike in the sun in Thailand, don't do what I did. Find the angle of the sun and then pop the seat up like this. Just leave it open. Even if you've got anything in there, just leave it in there. No one's going to steal it. Angle it away from the sun, and then the seat won't be so hot when you come back to sit on it. At this stage, we're not considering leaving Thailand completely. And the only thing we would do in the next couple of years, I imagine, is leave to another part of Thailand. So where would we go? Good question. For me, there's 2 areas of Thailand I want to live in. There is Bangkok, so many opportunities there. A lot of people that I talk to, business and through social media and things like this, based in Bangkok. Or if they're not in Bangkok, they're somewhere which is easily accessible from Bangkok on the plane. And the other area is Rayong. I absolutely love Rayong area. It's not so touristy. It's an area I could see myself living there. But for living in Isaan, it's nice, it's relaxing, it's peaceful, which most of the time I'm happy and content with. But there are times where I feel bored and I need to get on the plane to go to Bangkok or to Phuket or just have a change of scenery, but I guess that's normal for everybody. As you can see from my head, it is rather hot. I am absolutely dripping, and I've only been down here 5 minutes. I don't know how these guys work in the fields all day. Incredible. The seat's absolutely boiling still. Lawn, mate. All right, the AC is on. It is so hot in the direct sunlight. Even though it's dropped from last week when it was in the 40s, it's around 35, 36 now, but it's too hot to be vlogging outside in the direct sun. And I lost my hat during Songkran as well. And the GoPro also is just overheating every 20 seconds. So I'm gonna sit in here, do a little bit of work and enjoy some AC during the main part of the day. If we're gonna leave, we're not going to be leaving Thailand anytime soon. We just started a business. The focus at the moment is building that. And if we were going to leave anywhere, it would be leave Sisaket province to go and live in another part of Thailand. Here, there's not a lot of opportunities, and the people that we do business with and we have meetings with are mainly based in Bangkok, Phuket, and they're very easy to get to from one or the other, depending on where you live. The other option for us would be to move to Rayong, near the beach. I love living near the beach. One of the things I wanted to come to Thailand for in the first place was to live near a nice beach. So that's always an option as well. I really like that area, not too touristy, and a nice mix of Thai and a few foreigners. Some of the other motivations we've got for moving away from Isaan is in the future we're planning to have family, to have kids. One of the big challenges foreigners face in Thailand is with education for their kids. There are a lot of international schools, bilingual schools, other type of school. For me, I'm not too bothered about my kids going to like international school. I just don't think it's worth it. I'm not that convinced on the education system in general. So just a normal school or a bilingual school, something like this would be fine for me. And yeah, just opportunity, education for kids in the future, things to do. It's not very social around here. And most of the time I'm happy eating Thai food. But one of the other things is sometimes I wake up and I just have that urge to eat some Farang food, pizza, burger, pasta, Greek food, whatever it might be. And it's pretty much impossible to find around here. In our local town, there is no Western food at all. So yeah, that's another aspect to it is I love Thai food, but sometimes I just need a bit of variety. Eating kway teow and kapow all the time is not the best. So that's my situation. What I would love to hear about in the comments is your situation. Are you thinking about moving here? If so, what's stopping you? What challenges do you have? And also, if you do live here and you're thinking about moving to another area of Thailand or even back to your home country, what's the thinking behind that? For me, for example, if someone can give some insight into the education system and their experience with their children here, that would be very beneficial. And hopefully the comments can help all of you guys out with any of your concerns that you do have. Right now, I am going to get on with some work because it's almost midday and I've done bugger all so far. So I will see you in the next one.